Howdy folks, it's Adriel, the hunting gear guy. I recently started to look at getting my one of my older sons into just shooting 22s and that kind of thing. And I picked up a Marlin 795. Cool little gun, really accurate. I've got a red dot on here right now. I'm going to need to get a cheek rest or something like that to raise it up. But one of the things I noticed is that the trigger is kind of poo. This one is right around 6 pounds. It is a used gun, so it's had lots of rounds through it. It's still at 6 pounds. It's kind of heavy, which is too bad because they take 25 round mags if you want them to. They've already come with like a semi-heavy barrel on them. They're generally like pretty good little guns and they're pretty cheap. With that in mind, with this trigger group that I wanted to improve, I contacted M Carbo. They make a trigger spring kit, and it's actually got quite a few things in it. I'll just pull some of those out here. Now, this kit that I asked them to send over to me comes with the actual trigger spring kit. So it's got some of the springs in there to lighten it up. It comes with a whole bunch of these little retaining E-clips, just in case you spring one off and they go flying into the middle of nowhere. It's got some of this synthetic grease that they really like to include with their stuff. And it comes with a replacement trigger. So this trigger is just a nicer unit than the factory one that it comes with. This is kind of cool because this is something that a lot of guns don't do. Is differentiate between standard velocity and your high velocity stuff. So they actually include two springs with this thing, one that's for standard and one that's for your hyper velocity kind of stuff, right? I mean, the factory one works with both, so I imagine it's like something that's about this strength. But if all you're going to shoot is high velocity ammo, and that's all I'm going to shoot in this thing, I'm going to run this spring here, and that should prevent the receiver from getting like beat up a little bit, right? Because there is a buffer in there, so it'll just slap against that. But wherever possible, just using the correct springs for the ammo that you're using is really nice. So one of the things I'm going to do, not going to do that I typically do with my videos is I'm not going to show an install. M Carbo's got a really good install video. I'm going to link it in a card somewhere here. And I'm gonna skip to the like done version right now in seconds. All right, I'm back. Was it long for you? It was long for me. Now it only took me about half an hour to do this. Through the video I was like, oh man, this looks complicated, but actually when you take it in there, it's not that bad. Yes, the trigger assembly on the Marlin 795 is complicated, but you just like his video is really good. You reverse it a couple times and you're good to go. So there's the new trigger in there, and you can see it sits pretty far back in the trigger guard there, which is good because I think my boy's going to shoot this, and the shorter the pull, the better. I did have to take off the this bottom trigger assembly and adjust this trigger. There's a pre-travel setting on there that lets you take up that pre-travel, so I had to like fiddle with that a little bit, which is kind of expected. Everything else worked fine. Everything else was super easy to put in. So before I was getting right around 6 pounds, again with a lot of wear. The recoil spring on this thing was really worn out, and a couple of the factory parts I pulled out look like garbage. Like they were really worn. So this thing maybe got a bunch of rounds, or maybe that's just what the factory came with. So funny enough, so I was just watching the video there, and he was getting a trigger pull of 4 pounds 10 ounces, and I tried mine and I got that as well. I've got a snap cap in there, and I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger. Where's my trigger pull gauge? There it is. And I'm going to pull from the middle of the trigger. All right. And let's go. There we go. Pulling from the middle of the trigger. I should take the safety off. That would probably make for a nicer trigger pull. The other thing to note is how nice and short the pre-travel is now. It is right there. I got a little bit of give, but not that much. Okay, I'm grabbing just from the middle of the trigger and pulling down nice and slowly. And that's so you get an accurate reading on the trigger pull gauge. That one was just at 5 pounds. Let me pull my mag out. I can only find one of these snap caps. I know I've got like a whole pile more, but let's go ahead and pop that guy in. Do another trigger pull here. 4 pounds, 3 ounces. I think I might have done that one a little bit fast. Because it shouldn't be 4 pounds, 3 ounces. It should be a little bit heavier than that. Let's go ahead here. Four pounds, 7 ounces. It's closer to where it should have been. It's very crisp now too, because this aluminum trigger is just set back a little bit further, and it's a very crisp pull. Here, let me just show you guys so you can see what it looks like. There's the trigger, and that's the take up right there. So it's just a real short touch of take up, and then that's it. So pretty good trigger for, you know, for a Marlin 795. It's not like a pound and a half or anything like that. But again, this is a semi-auto 22, right? This is for banging around. I'm hoping I can use this for my boys and just have them out shooting more, and having a lightweight trigger pull is something that's a little bit nicer. They don't have a lot of hand strength. My littlest one needs to use kind of both fingers on it, but yeah, this is nice and short now, and really not much take up on that thing. So very cool trigger pit. I ended up putting the Hypervelocity recoil spring in there, and it really noticeably changed how tight that spring was in there, which I think is kind of nice, because that should prevent the receiver from getting banged up. I'll run some high test stuff through it and make sure it's not short stroking on me. If it's short strokes, I'll chuck in the other spring, right? They've got 2 of them here. That's a super easy job to like get in there and pop one of these in. I would need the Allen keys, and I think that's about it, just to pull this floor plate off. But very cool trigger kit. I'm going to now, through the power of editing, I'm going to head to the range and show you guys some shooting footage with this thing. All right, I'm not going to go too crazy with showing you guys a bunch of footage shooting it. Suffice to say, the trigger's lighter, it's crisper. That pre-travel is really nice. You might have to like mess around with that pre-travel to get it to the right spot for you. I wanted it really tight, so I had to test it to make sure that I wasn't giving it too much pre-travel, because then you'll have a hammer follow on it. But I got it to the right spot, and it is fantastic. Just taking off like a pound or pound and a half makes a lot of difference in a rifle like this, especially for my kids. And again, having that trigger further to the rear made a big difference as well. So much better. Really happy with that thing right now. And I think I'm gonna go take it rabbit hunting with my boy this weekend. So I'll let you know how that works out. But thanks for watching.